An anti-hunting spy infiltrated the corn hunt and caught them digging out a fox which had run to earth, tossed the body to the hounds.
The Earth is like a fox on the run. The entire planet Earth has become like a terrified fox, fleeing for its life from vicious, savage, dangerous maniacs, pursuing it hell-bent on its destruction and death. Alarm bells are ringing all over the world. The rape of the Earth, a tortured planet, abused, tormented and dying, is a global meltdown, an ecological crisis of cataclysmic proportions.
This is a message from the future to the people of the world, warning that humanity faces extinction this century as a result of global warming and climate change. Can You Save the Human Race is a master plan for the survival of humanity and an appeal for justice for the children. Act 1 is all about the panic on planet Earth and the inconvenient truth that our world is in danger, which Al Gore has warned us about. Global warming is out of control, threatening humanity with extinction. Burning fossil fuels is causing a chain reaction of environmental disasters. The carbon dioxide in the atmosphere keeps rising all the time, and the Earth's temperatures are increasing alarmingly. The glaciers and the polar ice caps are melting, and the Antarctic ice shelves are breaking up and collapsing. Sea levels are rising, threatening hundreds of millions of people with becoming environmental refugees. Hurricanes are increasing in ferocity and intensity, contributing to the worldwide flooding, which will kill billions of people by the middle of the century, according to United Nations scientists. In his film An Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore said, "Our ability to live is what is at stake." There is a state of emergency on the Earth as the global crisis threatens an apocalyptic ecological cataclysm. The human race faces extinction, Professor Peter Barrett warned in November 2004. After 40 years, I'm part of a huge community of scientists who have become alarmed with our discovery that we know from our knowledge of the ancient past that if we continue our present growth path, we are facing extinction. Not in millions of years or even millennia, but by the end of this century. Could this be the end of life on Earth? The Bilderberg climate criminals of banks, corporations and governments are committing crimes against humanity, but the environmental movement is fighting back in self-defense.
Beware of the aliens. They are everywhere, destroying the planet, killing the innocent, and causing general disaster.
Lost generation, we're picking up the bill. All we're gonna do right now is dream a life and chill. Come now, get together, our voices can be heard. Take lovers, come fly out like a bird. It's time to save the planet. It's time to save the sound. Turn off from illusion. Dig deeper in our world. No more time to wonder. No more time for greed. What you gonna do right now? It's time to take the lead.
Do you think we're going to shut down Drax tomorrow then?
Definitely. We've got to. It's right there. And apparently, I might have got this wrong, but it produces, I think, was it more pollution than loads and loads of power stations put all together. So that's why we've targeted on this one.
Say that again?
This is the biggest power station in the whole of Britain. So that's why we have to close it down. It's the biggest.
fantastic. And I'm happy to do it now, providing you listen and we do it safely.
What's your lapel number? What's your shoulder numbers? What's your shoulder numbers? You're required by law to identify yourself as a police officer. What are your shoulder numbers?
They don't do that. They just
What are your shoulder numbers? I believe.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way! You're just causing bloody trouble. You're the ones winding this in, and you know it.
What does your banner say?
Kids are revolting!
What does it say?
Kids are revolting!
Well, we've come out here, we're just coming out of camp, and we've been met by a line of black dress police who've been using unnecessary level of violence against civilians who engaging in a lawful protest as far as we can tell.
And this is the state abusing our right to do that. As this is Blair's democracy in 2000. Don't come back, no, 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 no.
How many do you need to facilitate a kids' march? You're a bloody joke.
That's what they're saying.
It all come down because the power station needs, it needs to be shut down. It's very polluting, and if we want our kids to have a future, we need to do something about climate change.
How do you feel at the situation now?
I mean, the police have been given their orders and they're being a little bit rough, but you can just step back. It's never as bad or as hard as it seems, and most of the police have got children, so although they're being a little bit rough right now, you can communicate with them if you stare into their eyes and have a little chat with them, so it's all right.
The assembly will be confined to an area at the entrance Drax power station.
Clean energy! For the future! Clean energy! Right now! For the future!
Thank you.
Out in the consent. Did you tell the French the same as us?
Right, you've sworn. That's your warning.
I would like to stay and film. Is there any particular reason why you're moving me on?
Sworn.
You can't move someone on for swearing.
Have the corner. Bridge to the police. Just keep moving.
They're getting fast! They've got fast!
Tim.
Come back with us!
There's a police line here. This is the quickest route to the main entrance of Drax, and we've been stopped.
You like to pop it? Cool. I must remind myself, don't be a police officer when I'm older. Yeah.
You think you're different from the rest
Guess what? You're just like a little puppet. You go, do this! Okay. Actually,
Police vehicles will go the rest of the route. It's kind of... We are going that way. I know, but it's this.
Not going that way.
It's this kind of... We're standing all day, aren't we, madam? It's not a decision we can go that way now. We stand here.
I want to go that way.
It's just this kind of...
Yeah, we want to go that way too. Yeah, we want to go that way. We want to go that way.
More than
Go that way. 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 Go that way.
Because you have to decide which you think is right. Should you defend Tony Blair's stupid laws which stop people from having the freedom to protest in a quiet country lane? Or should you defend the future of your children, which is to close places like that down? Because you shouldn't be a political police force.
Children have a limited amount of time, especially the very young ones, that they can be kept waiting. What is the human thing to do here? Let them down the lane.
Police vehicles and go the rest of the route. It's fine, but we are going that way.
We want to go that way, don't we? We want to go that way. We want to go that way.
You didn't stop her
them under
going.
control
and run along.
You didn't. Don't go all patronising with me, little young man.
Go and look after your children.
She's just there, and I'm doing a fine job of looking after my little girl.
from what I've seen
She walked. Oh, you haven't been anywhere near me, so don't be so rude to me.
Look, I don't want to talk to you.
Not being rude to you.
I don't want to talk to you. Take your children and go away,
No,
please.
I won't.
Listen, I've listened to you.
Doesn't make me sound, Mum. It doesn't make you a dad.
You wouldn't listen to my point, though, would you? Everyone's bleating on about making it safe for the children. We don't let the...
Green energy, right now! Green energy, for the future!
Ladies and gents, keep moving down the road, please.
Kim was not, he's supposed to be good at observation, yeah?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Keep moving that way. 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 Behind him. Keep moving that way. Keep moving that way.
You've just pushed me into the
Can you move out the way then?
Get off me!
Can you move out the way then?
Get off me!
Keep moving forward.
So what's been happening on the kids' block today?
It's been very heavy-handed. We've had Metropolitan Police and the children have had to run for most of the way. We haven't been allowed to stop for pee breaks, changing breaks. Even if they want to sit down in a trolley, we have to take them to a side and we have to keep on moving. I've been pushed so many times. I've been pushed into children. Screaming children everywhere. It's just chaotic and I don't see the need for such heavy-handed police on a peaceful kids' march.
Are you concerned about like your children's children and how the planet is, how they'll be affected by climate change?
I mean, obviously, I am. It's a concern for me anyway because my son does suffer with asthma, and it is something that we've always wondered whether this had anything to do with it because there's quite a lot of children in this area that do suffer with asthma.
Future! Clean energy! Right now! Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're going to be a favour.
He just came, like, driving down here really fast. The police tried to stop him, and they wouldn't stop, and he just, like, revved towards him. He was just trying to drive fast, so I'm guessing he was trying to run us over.
Others took to the fields and the woods that surround this enormous power station and have been playing for several hours a cat and mouse game with the police. Oh, very much so, and largely good-natured. I mean, in fact, the only arrests we've seen here in the last sort of couple of hours have been, we think, two local people who got so
This is the climate camp. What is actually happening at the moment, Inspector?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh.
The climate camp is over there.
Right.
They're in the camp, they're engaging in, well, I don't know, whatever they're engaging in. But from our perspective, there's been no problem at all so far.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Well, I'll go and have a word with the BBC. Thank you.
Sorry, you don't have to ask, no you don't, it's a public place.
Well, okay, well...
I can pretend to film with you on.
Oh, that's very kind. You're from the BBC, are you?
Yeah.
How are you getting on with this?
So far, we're not getting very much on at all.
Is there not a lot happening?
I've had an awful lot of interest in it.
Right.
They'll wait until Sunday, I think.
Do you think something will happen on Sunday?
Well, they're thinking something will happen on Sunday.
Right, okay, thanks very much.
Okay.
You're filming for the BBC, you're having problem getting any shots, aren't you?
Yeah, well, one of the guys got to do this morning and told me to fuck off, and I said, why are you telling me to do that? We're the press, you need us. Doesn't make sense.
What do you think that's all about then?
I don't know, just arrogance.
So you think they're not doing this properly?
Some of them aren't, definitely, no. Some of them aren't here for the right reasons, I don't think.
Okay, well, I'll pass that along and I'll see if my friends can sort that out for you.
Thank you very much, Mr. BBC man. Cheers. Bye-bye. Much. Cheers. Well, just a documentary.
What are you coming for?
Just a documentary.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Thanks, gentlemen. Hello.
How are you? So what is actually your background? Because I had a debate, because you got an award for, a UN award for your environmental activism, but you've not got any have you got an academic background in ecology or anything like that?
Well, I studied zoology.
Oh, you studied zoology?
Yeah, but I'm not an academic. I only did one a graduate degree. I didn't do any further degree.
Oh.
And otherwise, I'm just a sort of painting journalist.
Right, yeah.
So as they start to break up, the albedo changes, becomes much darker at poles, you get much more absorption.
Is it your personal film, by the way?
No.
You were saying that at a certain temperature, they're all 1.7. Can you explain that? And
okay.
Thank you.
This new paper, which was in the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society, shows that at less than 2 degrees, about 1.7 degrees of warming, you've got the prospect of the very sudden collapse of the ice sheets, the West Antarctic ice sheet and the Greenland ice sheet. And the reason for this is that, in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change studies, they presume that the ice sheets just disappear gradually and linearly, like just a block of ice melting.
Yeah.
But actually what he shows is that in the past, when it's happened, like 3.5 million years ago, there was a big melting. It was geologically instantaneous. And the reason being that the ice sheets are like that, going into the sea, and they're propped up by these buttresses of ice going down to the bottom of the sea. And what happened in the past was that those buttresses would start melting and then suddenly collapse, and the whole thing starts sliding.
And even so, it doesn't. Though they slide into the water, they don't dissolve straight away.
Well, it breaks up and then it dissolves very quickly indeed. Yeah. But even just going into the water raises sea levels enormously before it's broken up. But you see that it's accelerated by the fact that there are crevasses going right the way down through the ice sheet. Melt water goes down through those crevasses, gets underneath, and then lubricates the whole sheet. And so then it's sudden slippage. And so the IPCC was saying, well, it's going to take thousands of years for them to that. This guy James Hansen, who wrote the paper, was saying in the Pliocene, when this happened 3.5 million years ago, it took less than a century.
Right.
And it's
already started.
That's right. And so now, I was going to be doing this talk about how we need a 90% cut by 2030.
I've heard you say it before in previous meetings. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's no longer the case. We need a 100% plus cut. We need to be removing carbon dioxide.
About the Gulf Stream, how long before that stops?
This is a much less certain science than people thought it was in 1998, and it might not stop. It might do, but we just don't know. It depends on this what's called the thermohaline shift. So it's not just rising sea surface temperatures, but also the amount of fresh water coming in. If the Greenland ice sheet goes, then it stops. No question about that. That stops the Gulf Stream, simply because of the amount of fresh water coming into the North Atlantic. But that's so you can't say how long.
Well, some Russian scientists in 2006 said that it could stop by 2012. Is there any chance of that?
This discussion links with what my main question was, which was, a lot of critics, I can't sound like a journalist from saying, a lot of critics say that, you're a proponent of catastrophe climate change, basically, that in order to make the changes you'd like to see in society, and me being a socialist, I also sympathise with it, but the criticism is that in order to make the changes you want in society, you overstate the case, because as you did say, the science is uncertain, always evolving and changing, and that you're actually always talking about worst case scenarios when realistically it's not as bad as you would suggest.
Well, far from it. It seems
so,
now.
How would you respond to it?
Well, it seems that we've been consistently understating the case, because the more science comes out, the worse it's looking. And, and that when we were saying, well, we've got to be careful because we might see a metre of sea level rise. And this new paper says we might see 25 metres of sea level rise.
That's all of Britain then. I was going to say, because some models I've seen, Like by 2040 even, they talk about because already the entire Great Britain is now flood zone. Right, that's already happened. The insurance companies are way ahead on this. But like all of the southeast up to Norwich could be underwater by 2060. I've seen on some models. Like, where do you get your science from in terms of who are who are your reliable sources of information? Because if it's always changing, how can you know that there is enough consensus or there is enough like factual basis on that idea?
Well, the baseline, which represents the consensus, is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change stuff. Yeah, and that is the sort of the baseline.
That's what's coming out from everything you're saying. It can be referenced to them, can you?
What they provide is the minimum of what's going to happen, because it's only what everyone on their work agrees to happen. Yeah. And then you get other stuff which says that's quite conservative.
Right, yeah.
So, for instance, the paper I've just been talking about was published since the latest IPCC report that came out. And I said the IPCC got it wrong because they thought that it was going to be a gradual melting.
Right.
But the thing is, there's no, science doesn't stand still. There's no truth you arrive at. It's a constantly evolving picture.
I was wondering, what is your personal criteria of saying, discriminating between this is good science and this is bad science? Because you're a zoologist, undergraduate, you're not a hardcore scientist. So how do you, how personally can you be confident about one form of science?
The only thing which gives me confidence that any scientific paper is worth discussing is if it's published in a peer-reviewed journal.
Right.
And if it's not published in a peer-reviewed journal, I'm not interested about Science, Nature.
The big mainstream ones.
There's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But they have to be peer-reviewed.
Right.
And if it's not published in a peer-reviewed journal, then means as a layman of knowing whether it's right or wrong.
Exactly.
Now, just because it's published in a peer-reviewed journal doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does mean it's worth debating.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting.
Can I have one last question?
Okay, very quick.
Did you know that Professor Peter Barrett of the Antarctic Research Centre in New Zealand in 2004 said that the human race would be extinct by the end of this century?
No, I didn't.
Do you think there's any possibility that might happen? Human extinction?
I don't know, but I doubt it. The reason being that we're an extraordinarily adaptable species. We're very good at altering our local environments, if not the big environment. What I can say for sure is that if we don't deal with climate change, very large numbers of people will be killed, and even greater numbers of people displaced from their homes.
Some scientists are saying that the Earth's temperature and the ice caps are melting and the sea levels are rising 3 times as fast as they were when they were last looked at by NASA satellites, and they're saying the Earth is becoming uninhabitable. James Lovelock said that, and that there won't be anywhere left for anyone to live, and that everyone will die out and there won't be any future generations. I mean, what's your position on that? It's been documented, it's been in the press.
Yeah, well, I've just told you what my position is.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's going to happen or not.
Do you think you think it's a possibility?
Yes, it could be a possibility, and I'm fighting to make sure that doesn't materialise. But I'm fighting as well to make sure that even a much smaller effect of many, many millions of people being killed doesn't materialise either.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Monbiot.
People have been in tents outside Heathrow Airport because they couldn't even get in because of their own disruptions. They lose suitcases, they lose baggage, they delay flights.
We got the vegan food outside giving us the energy for the pedal power, the pedal power. Inspiration, the reading, but there's just one thing that you got to do to make a better world for me and for you, in your school, in your family, in your home. We gotta work together, you're not alone. There's just one thing that we got to do to make a better world for me and for you, in your school, in your family, in your home. We gotta work together. Every little thing that we do every day affects the world in every way.
think about your actions, cause you got a choice. You got the power, cause you got a voice. Anything's life, it's up to us to share it. Anything's life, it's up to us to care for it. Anything's life, it's up to us to share it. Anything's life, I say it, can we make a difference? Yes we can! 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 Yeah, but can we get it together? Are we gonna get it together? Are we gonna work it out? Have we got a plan for Sunday? Have we got... Yes we can!
And I love that. It seems to be like that, you know. And sometimes...
What it is, I'm pretty cool. 3 metres now.
Why not post?
You're even giving my straight back.
The most amazing stuff you can imagine, believe me.
Good as you come down to help police this
You really don't need to be here, officers. You can go home. Go back to your wife, families, boyfriends, whatever it is you need. We are in complete, as you can see, complete control of the camp. There's nothing for you to see. There's no aggravation going on. Everybody is completely under the command and under the control of the clan army. The police on the site go round and round, round and round, round and round, all day long. Go round and round, round and round, round and round. Go round and round, all day long. Yeah, just go.
No cameras, the revolution is not being televised.
The revolution will not be televised because I haven't got a television. And I don't wish to pay a license. You might have heard, ladies and gentlemen, the secret coterie of anarchists is in charge of this camp. We wish to find out who that is. The brighter the better. This is the police in their high-vis party wear. I bet they look great under UV. Should we? Get his best side. Oh, he likes it, doesn't he? He likes it. What are you doing after work, mate? I can get his number. 778. Maybe that's a pre-phone number.
778261.
Would you like some flowers?
Oh, please. Oh, you told... I saw you first. Your wife, I will tell her where I've been standing this last couple of minutes. She's very lucky.
Please smell. Just have one smell. I'm sure you will like it.
It might be considered a bribe. There are some honest police officers around. You know what he's saying.
Go home. I'm not doing your job.
That's why we're here.
And they need to
Clown army! Prepare to scatter! Reform Mossman and Pharaoh! Scatter!
And the handsome president of the United States will do not want the bush because he starts too many wars. So this quack is the new president and you must obey.
reading the papers.
I just want to have a record of this confrontation. So are you ready to go in? I mean, yeah? Okay.
1 second. We have our own documentary being made here, just to tell you that
We've got a camera rolling as well.
we have a little documentary. Anyway, I've got to do this thing.
I brought my friends to
try and figure out your reasoning for not letting us have having cameras on us, not on any other part of the site, just on us from a personal invitation.
Because it was agreed by...
Get that on there.
Because it was agreed by the group, by the whole site and
Where
gathering,
are you
and that
on?
everybody
We're here.
said that we would respect that.
Okay, well we didn't...
With media off-site, and it said that the media would be welcome during the media hour, and that there would be no media hour on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's a media because that's action planning, and then when there is action planning, it's more people are more sensitive to media on site. It was agreed at gathering, people who are coming to the camp agree to go by the decisions that were made by consensus at gathering.
Well, I wouldn't have.
Consensus at gathering we weren't invited to it. We weren't told about it.
Everybody is invited to those gatherings. It is completely open meetings.
Okay. Well,
so that's the way it works, and I'm really sorry, but to be honest, if you feel that you would not have come if you had known that, that's just the way it works.
I understand that you might have all agreed to something. I want to know why, the reasoning behind your agreement. Because of action planning.
Yeah, and that people are sensitive to it, and that is also that the people for whom actually having media on site, even for the 3 days they were on site, was actually quite a big compromise, and that I think that's what collective living is about, is actually having everybody giving and taking a bit, and that there were loads of people who actually didn't want to have media on site at all.
Okay, well,
and they gave in a bit.
What do you think it's going to? This is meant to be something which is consciousness or awareness raising. Now, if you're not going to let media on site, for a little bit. But if we have personally, and
to be honest, we haven't had problems with. We've had problems with a tiny number of journalists who find that it's not okay. Most of the journalists totally understand this is not a complete...
I disagree. Totally.
The journalists that we have spoken
I've had to rush every presentation I've done. I've rushed 1 hour. I've got 5 crews, and I've got a 20-minute show, and I could do it again and again and again, and it's complete rubbish.
Well, the ones that we've spoken to have been, and also, I've heard what you said. If you're trying to raise awareness outside to the greater world, not just the people within the boundaries, because the people within the boundaries of this compound know what's going on.
Have you seen the media coverage we've had? There's never been such a media coverage. I think it's really unfair to tell us that we actually, that we're making this a completely, intimate and reclusive event. We've been covered in 45 countries. There's never been a national coverage like that. Well, then especially, Rinky Dink is one of the mobile units of the camp. If you really want to have that, you can move the unit. But I don't understand why you're making such a fuss. Okay. 1,400 people in this camp.
Okay, shall I tell you why we're making a fuss?
Why should we actually break the rule for one mobile unit?
Because we're trying to be creative rather than negative.
There are loads of people who are trying to be creative.
Well, no, it's all about meetings, about blocking things and blockading things, isn't it?
There are loads of people. I think there are loads of people who are being really creative.
And there's another thing about being creative and making films. If you really want to get journalists here, if you really want to get a good story,
we have got journalists here. We've had loads of journalists here. We've been dealing with.
Okay, if you want to get one of the top reporters from the BBC giving you a really good report about what is going on here and really forwarding the cause, then what you have to do is not just say, I'll meet you at the gate, I'm sorry, this is how it is. You say, come in, have a cup of tea, let's have a bit of a chat. You can have a little bit of a wander around, get a feel for the place. Not with this person tomorrow.
The thing is that you're kind of behaving with us as if we were a kind of totally autonomous group of people making decisions on our own. We are actually respecting decisions that were made collectively at gatherings, and that's what was agreed. And I really don't feel that we can start just because there are 2 people coming here and trying to make us change it, that we can do that. Is that
There's more than 2 people.
No, it's not more than 2 people.
There's
not room for negotiation, and that's what really stumps this camp. It's inflexible. It is totally inflexible.
You are.
And it's not how people can cooperate and work together. If you have rigid, inflexible rules, then nothing ever gets done because you live in a draconian state, which is what you're trying to fight against.
Great media coverage, it's been fantastic. People have been so respectful.
So what's wrong with having a little bit more when we're saying coming to our camp?
How are we going to say yes? How are we going to explain to everyone else that we said no?
Because it's a major demonstration.
I'm sorry, it's totally inappropriate, the line that you're taking.
No, it's really, it's a collective decision.
It's a major thing happening tomorrow, isn't it?
Okay, for your reasons were...
It's a major action happening tomorrow.
Listen, people have said that it's just now that the whole reason that journalists aren't allowed on site is because people are planning actions. Okay, now, if the camera is not on until it comes to us, because we've arranged it to come to us only, they're going to see what we're doing with the dink, with the pilots, with the children's blockade there, and that's it. They're filming no one else. So your reasoning is completely obsolete. It doesn't count. It's irrelevant.
But it does trust a collective decision, and this is our camp.
But they're not free roaming cameraman. They're coming to us. They're filming. Yes, it does. It does. You have to see and think out of this tiny little rigid box that has been made up from these rules.
Persuasive, anything can go. And I think that we need to actually respect the trust that's been put in us, and the trust that there is that there is a media policy that was agreed, and the media policy says that there will be no media on site today, and that's just the way it has to be.
Flexibility like the authorities out there, which you are, after growing, this thing has grown into, it's not, it's just not a camp anymore, is it? It's a slicing of black.
Exactly, it has worked.
So you show flexibility in the growth.
That has worked.
So how would you know it would be any different if your policy hadn't been in place?
Because, well, the thing is that, to be honest, we had to actually put so much protection so that the photographers and the cameramen would not go off and start taking pictures or film people who don't want to.
Okay,
they will
enough.
always say, we will not take photos of people who don't want to take photos, don't want to be photographed. And as soon as there is a nice thing to film, they can't help themselves, and they do it. And then you end up with people here who are much more pissed off. And to be honest, my priority remains for people here, not for the journalists to be happy.
So I'm saying, keep everyone happy. All the journalists are going to do is not be walking around freestyle filming anything they want. They're going to come to our camp only and just film a specific group of people. And we've got, this is being totally open. We're being totally transparent. This is what we're doing in our group. We're not connecting it to anything else necessarily. They're not looking around the site, just randomly filming. They're only at us.
The risk is there, and I agree.
Are you saying you don't trust our friends in the media that we've been dealing with for the last 30 years? Are you saying you don't trust them? Your people have been calling them cunts and telling them to fuck off. I filmed The Guardian, the man from The Guardian, telling me he's never been treated so rudely in his life. And the BBC says exactly the same thing.
I'm not taking that, you guys. I don't know why. You've had long enough.
You've had enough, okay? Come on.
I don't know why
Did you swear again? I heard it.
This is not
You're upsetting people.
Well, you
don't like people swearing at me
all week, and you've done nothing but upset and treat me like shit.
It's not, there's no one way.
Excuse me, why are you filming?
Filming my friends.
Please stop filming.
Nick! We love you, yes we do. Hey Jude, darling, lovely to see you.
And you. Nice to see you.
Yeah, this is a new addition to our family. This is Star. Emerald Star, her name is.
A lot smaller than I expected.
Her pedigree name is Emerald. Well, she's only 11 weeks old, darling. She's going to be a monster. She's going to be a beast.
So where's the rest of the family?
What, the little girl?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what little girls are like.
No, I don't know
Always
a lot
off
about
doing
little
something
girls.
more interesting than hanging out with mummy.
Oh, it's all getting very interesting.
Getting a bit hairy.
Yeah, police liaison.
I'm here for a peaceful protest. I've come here to sing my new song.
Yeah, police liaison have announced at the London meeting that the police might not let the kids block leave the site. That's what
Do we
they...
need to do a kids block?
Well, they can do it on the site if they want.
Okay, where were they going to go and block?
And they weren't going to block anything, just have a picnic. A march and a picnic.
Laying down on my leg.
Is she? Do you want to hold on to the read for me then while I read this? Thank you. Come and join residents and the climate camp in a peaceful protest this Sunday to demonstrate against plans for a third runway at Heathrow. This protest will be fun, family friendly and suitable for children. We're part of a day of collective campaigning this Sunday to mark out the area that could be taken by the runway's construction. Well, that sounds okay. Meet at the climate camp at 11 AM for tea, set up for 12. Bring this flyer and your tea will be free. Alright then, I'll put it in my bag. This is the last chance we have to save our houses, our villages, our community. Take part, get involved and make a difference. Okay, well that sounds okay, that's fair enough. I don't mind doing that. I'm not going up to Heathrow Airport and doing anything stupid, but I'll go and have a cup of tea with the kids.
Do you want to go and visit the children's...
I don't particularly want to visit anyone at the moment, darling. I've just this second got here and I'm going to sit down and have a cider.
Okay, well,
and chill.
All our friends are here.
I've been travelling for like 3 hours. One of my friends was like talking about bringing me here, so I thought, oh great, I'm going to change his mind.
Keep the lines straight. Keep the lines out, guys. Hey!
Has anybody got any touching anyone by mobile? I've got lots of mobile. I've got lots of
Good morning, Marshal 3. Hello, sir. What shall I do in the corner?
Okay, guys, fall in! Oh my God, there's a bloke with a sticking his thing in my face.
Morning. Shall I get your number for later?
My number? Oh, I haven't got a phone. Yeah, I haven't got a phone. I'll take less text on that thing. Alright. News, getting the news on that. Air Vice Marshal.
Banners like attacking. We should do, really.
Hey, why don't you guys come with the kids block? We're going with Rinky Dink, all the kids, all the mums and dads.
Yeah?
Sorry?
You're going out to 12, yeah?
I think so, yeah, but you're welcome with us.
Here, is that best?
I think we're going to go from that side. So
Are we at the back?
I think we're going to be at well, the kids are going to go separately. I think she's going to wait.
Yeah, in terms of the...
They're assembling.
Holding, okay, thank you. Only just got the banner finished in time.
Wind
We're all assembling here now. Right, Ricky Dick's going out one way.
I think they're going to be moving this way. Ask Angel, I'll ask Angel to sort you out. Angel, try and get them leading, Sunshine leading the march, leading in front of Rinky Dink. Okay, so I think they just need to turn around in front of Rinky Dink.
Are we all here?
Oh, that's the front of Rinky Dink, isn't it? Yeah, this is the back of it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, everything's cool. The girl who's organising the KIDS block just said that we're not going with Rinky Dink straight away, we're going off on our own first and coming back and meeting them or something.
I would say stick with Rinky Dink. Get them in the front.
Okay, we're going to turn around and go down the main drag on the plywood, pick up the locals.
Sis.
Not too fast,
Billy, keep the... Sunshine! Forward, forward!
Oh yeah? Oh kids, could you mind just stopping there for a moment? Who's leading the march here? The children. Who's the adults leading the children? Oh, turn it down. Oh yeah, I'm Inspector Robinson.
I'm going to Smith's.
Nice to meet you. Part of my job is to facilitate your march and demonstration. Would you be able to turn it down a bit? Thank you. Part of my job is to facilitate your peaceful march and protest, okay? And I'd like to do that with a minimum of fuss, okay? And also to safeguard your safety, especially children. Okay.
Key aspect, yeah.
Would you be able to tell me where you're going?
We're going down that way to meet the locals.
Yeah.
No, we're going left.
We're going left.
Left is it? Okay. We are joining up with the locals. That's fine. You can join up with whoever you like, sir. Okay. Sir, can you tell me what your final destination is?
We're going to basically the proposed route area.
Yeah, go on.
And the simple idea is to mark out the proposed route.
Right. Could you just give me an idea roughly where that is, sir? Oh well, what's happening now? 3 boats and the horses.
And
It's to the bottom, isn't it? One moment. We're going to do that now. Leave carriers in front very quickly.
Without waiting for an MP, we're getting this rig out onto the road in position, and then we might go over the conversation while waiting for an MP.
Let's get onto the road then, yeah?
Who's going with it? You are. We're coming with
So now, could you just wait here so we can get your rig out on first?
on the road and
If you're on, mate, we'll let them pull them up.
the same way as the other one.
Okay. Hold the line, please. Thank you.
Out of the gate to the road.
Who are you with?
Sky.
Have you seen Fernando? This is the big story. Children's revolution. They're going to take over the site, keep it permanently, with the teenagers in the village. So just be aware, that's the story. And we've got a team of servicemen, ex-servicemen on site to fight the police as they try and take the site while we're away. And there are lots tougher.
Thank you. The gap between us and the police officers, all right?
These little children are going to hold that site for as long as it takes to stop the bulldozer.
sign is not a joke. You understand?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Not to wait here, sir. Wait till you're all together. When we're ready, you'll walk in front of me.